What are the risks and benefits of drinking cold water? Find out on this next episode of Digest This.
Welcome to Digest This, the show that helps you revolutionize your digestive health. Here are your hosts, Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato.
Hello, and welcome to Digest This. I'm Dr. Liz Cruz, and I've got Tina Nunziato sitting by my side. If you're watching us, thank you for joining us. If you are one of our regular listeners, we thank you and love you and appreciate that you have been on this journey with us. And if you are a new listener, welcome. We love you too. And we're so happy that you found us. And we hope that you will stay on this journey with us.
I'm doing sign language this episode.
I could tell. I could tell. I love it. I love it. So let's talk about the benefits of and risk of cold water.
Yes, thank you for
Benefits
and risks.
I think it's a good topic. The article that you found.
Yeah, I have had a lot of people ask me about this.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
and
like, should I be drinking cold water, hot water?
it's actually a great
room
topic.
temperature water.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great topic. I love this topic because there are a lot of questions. I actually have certain beliefs about cold and warm water and also drinking water with meals. So I think it's a great topic.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it was a good article that you found and definitely stimulated a lot of research. So.
Well, yeah, because the studies that they mention in this article was only like 15 people. And I'm like, really? How are you going to write a paper based on 15 people?
Yeah.
That was interesting.
So I think in general, let's just talk. I think in general, cold water definitely has its benefits, especially, for example, in cooling down the body. Like if you're exercising, cold water is nice, not only for hydrating, but just to try to cool down the core temperature of your body.
Yes. And there are studies
Yes, there are.
about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
With more than 15 people.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right. I think that for me personally, in my work, when I'm doing an endoscopy where I go into the stomach on my patients with a camera and I take biopsies, especially if they are on a blood thinning medicine or even if I have to get them back on their aspirin, I'll tell them, drink some ice cold water today on the day that I do the exam because the biopsies are fresh. And the cold water helps to tighten up the blood vessels, vasoconstrict those blood vessels just to prevent bleeding.
Mhm.
For the most part, they're not going to bleed. It's very rare to have a bleed from a biopsy, but it can happen.
Mhm.
And so I typically will tell patients.
That's a cool tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that tip.
Yeah.
I think it's helpful. And patients already know that and they're like, oh yeah, for the blood vessels. I'm like, exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. that they know
Yeah,
that
a lot of
already.
them know.
Okay.
Even some have said, oh, you mean to vasoconstrict my blood vessels? I'm
What?
like, yes. So I'm
Wow.
very impressed.
People are so
I have
educated.
brilliant, educated patients. I really do.
awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Also, as a gastroenterologist, one of the things that we do know, like in people who have esophageal spasms or
Mhm.
even this disease of the esophagus called achalasia, which is basically where the valve at the bottom of the esophagus doesn't relax the way it should. And so people end up accumulating food and liquids in their esophagus and it doesn't go down the way it should because that valve isn't relaxing to allow those things to enter the stomach. So there are definitely recommendations out there for some of these people to avoid ice cold drinks
Mhm.
because it'll cause spasming, which can then cause a lot of pain in the
Mhm.
esophagus. Some people will feel like a sharp pain, chest pain, right in the middle of their chest where the esophagus is when they drink ice cold water. So then, you got to tell them, drink room temperature water.
Mhm.
It's going to decrease those episodes of spasming and
Mhm.
pain that you're going to get.
Yeah, and I typically like drinking cool water. Like I
Mhm.
don't drink like ice cold water, but I drink it cooler than room temperature. But I know sometimes if I'm really hot or whatever, and then I go to drink ice with my water, that I get a little pain.
Yeah.
And they talk about how cold water can actually trigger migraines
hmm
for people. So a lot of times people that have a lot of headaches or migraines, they typically stay away from cold water.
Yeah.
As well for that reason.
Well, I would imagine that in general, you're drinking a lot of ice cold water since you're just so hot. But anyways, so yes, I do think that I do think that you do have to be careful with, cold, ice cold water if you have any of these issues with the
Mhm.
esophagus or, like you mentioned,
Mhm.
headaches, migraines. Another thing that I wanted to bring up with the ice cold water is there are some studies out there that suggest that it will thicken the mucus in the nasal passageway. So if you happen to be sick or you happen to be congested, cold water could potentially worsen the mucus because it just makes it thicker and will make it more challenging
Mhm.
to clear it out.
Which actually leads us into the benefits of warm water, hot
Yes.
water. So before
Yes.
we do that, though, I want to do our commercial,
Okay.
which we picked the super salts to do our commercial today because we're talking about water.
That's right.
And if you're drinking water, yay, good for you. But if you're not drinking electrolytes in your water, you really do need to consider drinking electrolytes. Okay. Your body is a giant saltwater bag. Every day you're losing salt water. You need to be able to replenish. So, this is magnesium, potassium, calcium, and sodium bicarb to help you not only with the regulation of the stomach, but also with just helping to completely restore the hydration
Hmm.
that we're losing every day. So, super salts, get your container today.
It's a great commercial. I love it. Thank you.
Now, on to the benefits of warm water.
Warm water. All right. So since we were just talking about cold water thickening the mucus in the nasal passageways, on the flip side of the coin, drinking some warm liquids could actually help with the, should we say, softening or
Yeah, the
loosening
loosening.
of the mucus. And when you have a cold or somebody is sick, they have an upper respiratory, they don't feel good, typically we do,
Yeah.
default to warm
It's like
liquids,
we're drinking
tea.
tea and we're
Yeah,
drinking, eating soups
that's
and
right.
things like that.
Our little
There's
concoction of warm water with lemon and a little bit of honey,
Mhm.
that's what we've given to our kids all their lives growing up whenever they have a cold. So the warm will help with loosening up mucus. And actually, in regards to digestion, what I was reading to is that warm water will actually also enhance digestion, which actually brings us to the whole issue with drinking water with meals.
Mhm.
I was raised not to drink any water with your meals because you end up diluting the the stomach juices, the digestive enzymes, the acid. And so when I was growing up, we never actually had beverages. For sure, we didn't have any sodas or any juices or anything like that, but not even
With meals.
water. Yeah, we weren't
Mhm.
drinking beverages, including water, with our meals because of that. My mom wanted us just to eat our meal and not to be diluting the stomach juices. So, when I was reading about cold water decreasing the digestion because it's vasoconstricting the blood vessels. The other thing it talked about was also preventing the release of digestive enzymes. It talked a little bit about that. But
Mhm.
just in general, I think when you fill up your stomach with water while you're eating a meal, that could potentially maybe delay digestion a little bit. And so that was one thing that we grew up.
One of the things they were talking about in the article, though, was about in the Chinese culture, they tend to drink warm
Yes.
water with their
Yes.
meals because of the contrast. They don't want the contrast during the meal. So they're eating a
Mhm.
warm meal with cold water. They don't want
Right.
that. So they tend to drink tea
Mhm.
with warm tea. So that, you go to a Chinese restaurant, you're ordering tea with your meal. And that's very traditional Chinese because it's not so much the water diluting in their culture. It's about drinking things that match the temperature of what they're eating,
Yeah,
which
that
I
makes
found
sense.
very interesting.
That is interesting. And actually, when we go eat at a Chinese restaurant, we always get the tea and we drink it. And it actually does feel
Mm.
nice. Maybe just because we're drinking these little cups of,
Yeah.
of, of warm tea, hot tea.
Just makes
Um,
you feel good inside.
it
Yeah,
does. It
warm tea.
does.
Yes.
It does. One thing that I did want to mention in regards to the cold water is that when you do drink cold water, ice cold water, it does require some energy from your body to warm it up, to try to get it to the temperature of your core body. So that in itself could use up a few little calories.
It burns more
It
calories
burns more
drinking
calories
cooler
because it's
water.
trying to
Hmm.
warm it up.
Hmm.
And then the other thing was about weight loss
Drinking water in general,
in general. Oh
and
yeah,
that it equates to lower calorie intake. throughout the day. Mainly, well, first of all, if you're drinking water instead of sodas
Exactly.
or juices, right? Obviously, that's going to mean less calorie intake. But when you drink water, it does fill up your stomach.
Mhm.
So in your case, you need to tell the story about what your mom used to tell you guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we were kids and if we were outside playing and then let's say we came in and she called us in for lunch and we had this nice big lunch and then we go out and play and an hour later we're like, "Mommy, we're hungry." She'd be like, "Drink your water. Drink water."
Mhm.
Because number one, she wanted us to hydrate, but number two, she wanted our stomachs to fill up with some hydration. She knew that we couldn't be hungry already just an hour after eating a lunch.
Right.
Um,
But I feel like people may insert food there
mhm.
instead of just drinking water.
Yes.
I feel like we're putting a lot more food in our body per day than required
Yeah.
because we look at those triggers as needing food instead of needing water.
Yeah. We're misreading it. And
Right.
I do that. I still do that. And I find myself then snacking. And actually, she recently was telling me, "Honey, sometimes we have dinner and then we'll go watch something and go sit on the couch 45 minutes later." She goes, "And before I know it, you've pulled out this big old bag of popcorn." I'm like, I know. It's like
It's
this.
habit.
It's like this habit. So,
Yeah. We need to be drinking water
yeah,
instead.
we're working on that.
Exactly.
So, anyways, I thought it was a great article just to stimulate some good conversation and do a little bit of research on, drinking cold water, the benefits and some of the, I don't want to say risks, but some of the things that it can also cause that may not be as favorable.
Mhm. Yeah, and then just in general, I mean, you really should be shooting for, in terms of the amount of water you're drinking every day, you should take your body weight, you should divide it in half, and that's the amount of ounces you should be drinking of plain water every day.
Right.
Not sparkling water, not soda, not juice, not coffee, water. So that's the goal because that's how much you're losing every day. So that's just kind of a good rule of thumb to
Yep.
go by.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to connect with us, you can find us on our website, drlizcruz.com. There's a magenta colored button on the homepage that you can click and schedule a free 30-minute wellness consult. It's free and it's done over the phone, so anyone can do this. And it's our gift to you. Also, while you're on our website, subscribe for our newsletter. We send that out every couple weeks. If you haven't rated our podcast, please rate us and please give us a 5. It'll help other people just like you to find us faster. And lastly, if you have not subscribed to our podcast, please subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next podcast.
Thank you for joining Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato. To learn more about their revolutionary products and services, go online to www.drlizcruz.com.